The issue that has caught my passion is basically the issue of hysterectomy. My wife Lola went through this, and basically what at least it is been my firm belief, and what I found in talking with hundreds of women is that hysterectomies are in essence pushed on them. 1 out of every 3 women in the United States by the age of 60, according to medical records that can be backed and verified. 1 out of every 3 women is hysterectomized by the age of 60 in the United States. And then on approximately, I think it's 73 or 74% of them there's an oophorectomy, or the removal of their ovaries. We were one of those couples that sat in consultation with the doctor, and the questions were of this nature, basically. Are you through having children? And we were like, well, yeah, we've got 3 children, and but yet that would never be asked of a man. We would never go to a man and say, at age 50, are you through having children?
I'd like to thank Representative Borders for introducing the Hysterectomy Informed Consent Bill, and Chairman Brown and the whole committee for listening to our testimony. I'd like to share with you my own experience, which led me to start an international organization, the Hearst Foundation, to educate the public about the alternatives to and consequences of hysterectomy and the development of our most effective educational tool, the video female anatomy, the functions of the female organs. Hysterectomy is the surgical removal of the uterus, and female castration is surgical removal of the female gonads, the ovaries. It is a damaging, mutilating surgery that has been accepted as common practice and a rite of passage for women. In the last decade, an average of 620,000 hysterectomies were performed a year, and 73% of women were castrated during the surgery. Every minute of every hour of every day, a woman's hormone-producing reproductive sex organs are removed. There are 22 million women alive in this country who have been hysterectomized, and nearly 3/4 of them have been castrated. As a research assistant, I knew the right questions to ask. I was assured by all 5 gynecologists there were no negative effects of hysterectomy, that I would feel great, better than ever, like a new woman. I asked if the surgery would affect my sex life. I did not know for close to 2 years after the surgery that the answers I was given to my good questions were false. When I developed debilitating bone and joint pain and muscle pain after the surgery, doctor after doctor told me that it had nothing to do with the hysterectomy. I wasn't sure if I was the only woman to experience these serious problems, and I only knew one woman who had had the surgery. She said she felt great. It was the best thing that she ever had done in her whole life, and that sex was better than ever. After the surgery, I told her that I had a total loss of sexual feeling, and she said, "Oh, I didn't want to worry you." I decided that I had to try and find out if there was anyone else with these problems, so I put a 1-line ad in Ms. Magazine's classified section that said, "Author writing a book about hysterectomy would like a response to a confidential questionnaire." 600 women responded. 425 women filled out my 45-page questionnaire, some adding as many as 10 additional pages. And then I knew I was not the only one. I spent every day for 2 years in the University of Pennsylvania's medical library reading about the effects of hysterectomy and castration. On the first day at the library, I found a medical journal article that documented much of what I was experiencing. It was a relief to know that I wasn't losing my mind, that what I was experiencing was well documented in the medical literature. But it also meant that I had to confront the reality that there would be no cure, no remedy, and that this was permanent. And if I found in 5 minutes of searching in the medical literature that everything I was experiencing was well documented, well known, it meant that doctors knew it too. After 2 years of researching medical literature,
You're at 5 minutes now. We need to wind down.
I am almost done. I had read every medical journal article and textbook about hysterectomy written since 1893. What I learned couldn't help me. What was done to me couldn't be undone. But I knew it could help other women and men understand that hysterectomy and castration are almost always unnecessary. Often no treatment is needed, and when it is, there are conservative alternatives, that the damaging effects are permanent. The video, Female Anatomy, the Functions of the Female Organ, details the anatomical facts that inform women of the lifelong functions of female organs and the consequences of their removal. Every woman has a right to this information before she is told to sign a hysterectomy consent form. Hysterectomy affects every part of a woman's being: loss of affect, loss of orgasm, loss of sexuality, loss of ability to socialize, loss of maternal feeling, or just a few. HERS, the Hysterectomy Educational Resources and Services Foundation, has counseled over 850,000 women and provided information to millions. I founded HERS in 1982 to provide full, accurate information about the alternatives to and consequences of the surgery. We've developed a successful working model that clearly demonstrates it is possible to solve this problem. 98% of the women counseled by HERS who had been told they needed hysterectomies, in fact, did not need them and did not have them.
Thank you so much for hearing about this very vital issue. The amazing thing is no one has any idea what this is about until it's too late. The medical community will tell you that they inform all women, but it's not true. I haven't met one who provided informed consent. I also co-authored The H Word with Nora W. Coffey, a book that discusses the diagnostic studies to evaluate symptoms, alternatives in treatment, and coping with the after effects of hysterectomy. It concludes with a call to action with HERS video, Female Anatomy, the Functions of the Female Organs, at the heart of proposed informed consent legislation. This video is only 11 minutes and 45 seconds, and it costs us only $1 per woman to produce. So far, that video has been seen by more than 1 million people online, and it is comprised of irrefutable anatomical facts. The cost to taxpayers for unnecessary hysterectomy exceeds $17 billion each year. A second subcommittee in 1993 said, quote, 90% are performed more out of folklore and tradition than proven effectiveness, end quote. And hysterectomy is nonpartisan. Republicans, Democrats, independents, and people who didn't care much about politics either way, who we protested with in every state of this great country, said they'd use the power of their vote to support informed consent legislation. Your mothers, daughters, sisters, friends, hysterectomized every day in Indiana cannot be said to have provided informed consent without the information contained in the HERS anatomy video, Female Anatomy, and the Functions of the Female Organs. Regardless of the reason for the surgery or the outcome, this bill is about providing the information that is every Hoosier woman's right to know.
I was one of those husbands who sat with the surgeon and was lied to, as well as was my wife. Chairman Brown and the members of the committee, what's happening is that informed consent truly is not being given, and maybe it's not in other circumstances as well, but without question, there's no doubt in this particular situation, and it does impact the lives of women out there, and we just want them to know the truth, and it's not being given to them. I've not talked to one single woman that was told any of the information about their anatomy and the truth about it. It's just all being glossed over. So with that, I'll stop.